How's it going, Sha?
It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. I had to think, but it is. It's great. It's fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I had dinner recently. It was it was I got invited over for dinner, like a adult night kind of thing. It was a very different experience for me. Um,
Hold on. When you say adult night, does that mean adult entertainment night or just like no kids, no chicken fingers night?
the latter. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
do yeah, like we didn't go to a strip club together.
Right. Okay. All right. Just making sure you weren't, invited to a tasteful orgy. Okay.
Hey, no. Admittedly, there was a moment where I was like, "Is that what happens next?" Because I haven't been to a lot of
Okay.
adult dinners, so I don't know.
Sometimes that can be what happens next.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I feel like we've gotten to know each other too well. Like we have to leave in order for that not to happen.
right.
Um, but it was a nice dinner. But it was like I think it was one of the first times I've done that where like adults just got together to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was
What?
different for
Wait,
me.
why
Uh,
did you say it like that?
I don't know.
Why was it talk? Question mark?
Yeah, like
Why?
I didn't know. Like we got invited over for dinner, and like I don't know. Like I'm used to like I'm used to. I mean, obviously, I hang out with other adults,
Sure.
but I feel like there's always like a hook. You know, like it's game night, or like let's go watch this movie or this thing or whatever. Like there's a event as
Mm-hmm.
the bring, and like the hook was like we're gonna have dinner, and then I was like, all right, that's like 15 minutes of our time.
Oh.
I don't know what
Oh.
happens the rest of the time, but like we got there and like we just talked on like in the living room. I was so confused. I like I kept looking at Gabby. I'm like, what happens now? And like I was trying to ask without like being because there was only like three couples, so I didn't want to like ask loud and give away that like I ain't know the dynamics. But like I know the dynamic, I know what's going on. I was like, yo, like does this go like where do we go from here? We got like there was one couple we knew, one couple we didn't know, and
Mm-hmm.
the host couple knew both couples, obviously. So
Mm-hmm.
like there was a lot of moments where like I was just alone with people I didn't know, and we were supposed to like talk to each other.
You
Like
keep saying this as a question. Like you keep waiting for another explanation. Every time you approach it in all these different ways, and you just keep ending up with, and we're supposed to talk. It's like, yeah.
yo,
However you want to slice that, that's basically what it is. You're supposed to talk.
I was so confused by the like. I don't know what am I supposed to ask you? Like I don't know like where is this going? Like I don't know what the goal of these combos are.
Mm-hmm.
I got to know two lovely people that I don't know if I'm gonna ever see again. Uh, but we spoke for like
Yeah, yeah. Speaking, like talking. Yes.
you know like it just like and I was so confused by like all right we in the living room. They brought out they're like hey would you like something to drink?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got drinks. I was like, nah, I want water. I'm driving. Then we talked. Then it was like, hey, let's start the dinner. Then the host couple brought out the dinner in three waves. And
Okay.
like that prolonged the dinner talking
Yeah.
area.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, we talked a
Dinner.
lot about the dinner.
Yeah. There are times, and I get it because you are in the thick of days where dinner is sustenance, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing that you have to supply to your family. It's to keep everybody going. And it's not like a leisurely getting to know. It's something that you eat in your car between point A and point C.
Yup.
Dinner was point B in the middle. It's not, you don't get a chance to view, especially, and this could be just kind of like an American thing too, of just like, drive-throughs and everything's a wrap so that you can eat it quickly while you're driving. And, part of the reason you get a sandwich is because you can walk while eating and all that kind of stuff. But other places, dinner, like meals are like a leisurely kind of thing where you sit and relax and you can talk to people and you just kind of chill and decompress and talk with people and love, meet new people, maybe, like say at this dinner party, especially at a dinner party. It's to just relax and kind of, talk. Period. Talk.
Yo, that's
is
wild.
talk, not question mark. So I get that right now that's odd because for you, dinner is like a thing I got to get for the family. Let me pick up this before. So it's the flipping of that. It's a chance to view it in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was nice. I just didn't know, like, I don't know if we won. I don't know if we
there's no winning. You leave all that shit outside.
Like, did we, I wasn't sure, like, did we achieve the goal? Or like, I don't know.
The goal is to chill.
Yeah.
The goal is to let your shoulders down is the goal. Like, don't have them all the way up by your earlobes. Slowly lower your shoulders, get a little relaxed, and just kind of talk some things out.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because
and listen. Also listen.
I did a lot of that. Like, I was there were, Gabby was the only, like, I guess, like, regular person. Everyone was like an artist or comedian of sort.
Okay.
But all people that I could tell, but I was the weird one that, like, I felt hadn't been in a dinner environment where, like, the goal is to talk, I guess.
Right.
Like, Gabby seemed at home, everybody else seemed at home. I didn't understand this at all. But yeah, we talked about the dinner, and then we, like, talked about stuff. And then and then
your face, you look so confused, but that's literally that's what's supposed to happen. Yes.
Yeah, like, we got invited over. They were like, "Hey, I just want to try some new stuff to make." So the host had made the dinner very good. And then we looked at the house and their place. Hadn't been there before. We talked a lot about the art and, like, the paintings and like, pictures, like, a lot about, like, how the home was decorated. There was a lot of that, like, the paint colors kept coming up, and how they made people feel. Like, there's I kept hearing texture a lot. Like, people was like, people just can't, like, the texture is like, it gives it, like, it makes them feel warm. Other rooms was like, really, a room made them relax because of the color.
Right.
It was very cool. And like, I was just like, word. Like, that's all I had to say. I'm like, yeah, word. I could see that. Yeah, I was so lost. I learned the word. I found out that there's a, like, what is it? Vulvic. I'd never heard, like, because I'd heard phallic.
Oh, okay. Vulvic,
right? So somebody saw, like, a piece of art and they were like, it's very vulvic. And I didn't know that was related to vagina, so I asked.
Okay.
And then they like chuckled, thought I was being silly. I was for real learning, like,
Right.
because I didn't want to be like, yo, that rap song's real vulvic, the next day. I wanted to know how to throw the terms around.
Sure.
So yeah, like they was like, yeah, that piece is real vulvic. And they were like, yeah, I was going through a phase where I like this. Yeah, it was a lot of like explaining the house.
Mm-hmm.
And like none of it was like stuff that like nobody was like, yeah, like this is how my central AC works. Or like this, like it was none of the stuff that like a house is for. It was about how the house made them feel.
Yeah. I mean, I dare say if you're not in the mindset of houses are just there to provide passive income
Yeah.
or anything like that, like a house is, it sounds like they may have been describing the home.
Yeah. A lot about molding. It was the
Like
molding
crown
was
molding.
yeah, it was a real big discussion about what to do with the molding. And they like they had a long debate about it because it was like an original part of the space.
Right.
But also like there was like what's the thing that covers the window? Not like a curtain,
Uh-huh.
but like I swear, like there was like a curtain they wanted to put up, and the molding on that wall didn't make it shine. Like it didn't like make it stand out the way they
Okay.
wanted to. So they took the molding off on one quarter of the room, and that
Okay.
made the curtains feel like their own piece of art. And like
Uh-huh.
everybody was like, "Oh, I see that," and I was like, I had no concept of what they were talking about. Like I was
Okay.
like,
All right.
the curtains are up. Like I didn't. Yeah,
So
like there was.
it sounds like you were in a good old fashioned artsy fartsy dinner party.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
It was
How did
nice.
you
I had a good
how did you
time.
do? Yeah. How did Gabby say you did?
She said she gave me one critique. She said I should have took off my hat. I wore my hat the
Okay.
whole way through. I said
All
that's how I
right.
felt comfortable. That was my blanket.
Uh-huh.
I felt like me. But she said that like I had good questions. Um, and I was polite.
Right.
Um, I know I did all the fork and knife stuff wrong, but she said that's okay.
Oh,
Like that's like,
yeah, no one yeah.
yeah, no one really does that anymore. She said, "You good?" Like that's like in a real fancy thing. You're like, this was a casual dinner, and none of it felt casual to me. But she said this was like a chill environment. It wasn't that
Yeah, if
serious.
there was no dress code, right?
Yeah, no, I was
Okay.
in, but I wore the only non-Dickie shirt I have. She
Okay.
was really insistent, like, nah, you got to dress up. So I had like a pattern on my shirt. Still wore Dickies pants, as that's all I'm left with at this point.
Right.
But I had one shirt, and I literally only have it because I bought it for the baptism 2 weeks prior for my
Right.
godson. Otherwise, I'd have nothing but Dickies to wear to this thing.
Mhm.
But she was like, no, you got to wear the patterned shirt. So I wore the patterned shirt.
Okay.
The other couple definitely looked like they were in their element. Like they do this. I feel
Right.
like they like I feel like they were designed for this. Like
Okay.
they're like you hire them for these dinners, and they come
Right.
and they're
Right.
perfect for this. They add a lot. They asked a lot of like dinner questions that like I'm not used to. Is like like what do you do? And like, oh, that's interesting. And like
What do you do? It shouldn't be that much of a stumper. Like I feel like you should have been able to stumble upon, "Oh, what do you do?"
yo, but it's I don't know. It's the way they like it was. It was the way it was covered. It felt like it was like I didn't have enough of an answer. I don't know.
Your answer stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I do stand-up comedy. Because then they're going to have a lot of questions about it, and then that's how the conversation grows. Now, granted, the conversations are going to be like, as your job will be the first one to follow up,
Yeah.
or oh, so that is that all? Just stand up is another follow up question. Um, Or, I've been wanting to try stand-up comedy is usually a follow-up statement. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it leads itself to more discussion if they're not just like, because you don't necessarily come across people who say, "Oh, I'm a stand-up comedian," and then they actually have stuff to back it up.
Right.
Like, "Oh, really? Have I seen you on anything?" You could say, "Well, I was on this show
Right.
on this channel and I've done this and blah blah blah." Like actually like, "Oh, okay, you've actually done something." Cuz many people can say, "Oh, I'm a stand-up comedian." It's like, "Have I seen you on anything?" Well, no. I don't have an album. There's no way to listen to anything that I do at all. But you
Right.
can back that up because it is truly your job. And then there are more conversations you can have from that. But for you, that's It's
Yeah.
it's just a matter of,
I was very stumped. The food was really good, and I felt like there were easier ways of describing everything. That was like a real big thing. They were there was like a name for the dish, and I was like, "This is rice and chicken," but it was
right.
like a term, and it was a Peruvian themed night.
Okay.
So the we didn't have shrimp, we had ceviche,
Oh, yeah.
and then
That's
the
just
ice
raw shrimp
cream.
cooked by lemon juice.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is dope. And then I just picked out some shrimp,
Uh-huh.
and then we had the rice and chicken, but that had like a special name.
Mhm.
And then we had like an ice cream that was Peruvian, and they said it's named after this weird fruit, but it's gonna taste like caramel. And it tasted like caramel, and I was like, why ain't we get caramel? And they were like, nah, because this is Peruvian. And it was dope, but it was just like, it was orange, but tasted like caramel. Very good.
Okay.
But I've also tasted caramel, equally good.
Right. Yeah. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
Gastor.
I
It's not a competition.
Okay.
It's
I guess
just
that's what I was missing. Like, I felt like it was like,
yeah, you do tend to enter these things like, who do I have to best? You don't
yeah,
have to best anyone. And the thing is, it's easier for you if you realize it's not a competition because sometimes things like that can become pissing matches. Absolutely. They can become unspoken competition when people hear what you do and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't seem to," they can be haughty like, "Well, what have you done? What are you," like things like that,
right,
or, "Well, but you're not in those circles, especially if it's a world where you're not in those circles.
right.
Whatever their value system is that they're attaching to you doesn't matter because you know who you are and what you do. You're Gastor, you're a comedian, you're a storyteller, you're a dad. There you go. So
Okay.
whatever it is that they think doesn't even fucking matter. So if they want to go through a whole like this is the Peruvian like menu and we know it's just chicken and rice, but here's what it's called
Yeah,
there and these are the seasonings for it, blah blah. Everybody has a chicken and rice dish that's just called something else. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you're just like whatever, but it's not a competition. I'm sure you're doing fine though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like I lost, for sure.
No. No.
Gabby said I did fine. I thanked them afterward. I said, yo, good looks for inviting me. Never done this before. Very different,
Right.
you know? And but yeah, like I was super confused by the goal of it. Like, we talked a lot about the Peruvian rice and chicken. It was very
Okay.
good. They
Mhm.
explained how they made it. It sounded like rice and chicken here, you know? Yeah, I they said they went to like a market that specialized in Peruvian stuff.
Like spices and stuff?
Yeah. And I was like, I hate this is dope. You could have done this with American stuff at every corner
Well, you
store.
still can. But also keep in mind that probably the way that you even like your rice and chicken is different from,
Yeah, that's fair.
you're probably putting a little oomph on it that not most Americans are.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like Yeah. Like a lot of them are not doing what just seems like second nature to you.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are doing.
Yeah, like, but yeah, like and then after that we talked again. And then
So,
at some point they knew that the night was done.
yeah.
And they're like, all right, that's it. And like I felt like when I got there, it was started already.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was in it, I was like, oh, okay, we in it. I don't know what's happening, but I knew the game started.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, I felt like everybody knew the game was over. And I was like, oh, I ain't get like any last shots in. But
Oh, yeah,
okay.
that can be a little tough. You just follow the lead of whoever's like, all right, well, I'm gonna get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just okay, well, let me do that as well.
Okay. Like
So who invited you?
the host,
And was the host more your friend or more Gabby's friend?
more my friend. But they wanted to thank us for a favor Gabby did for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why we got invited over. Very, very nice. I had a good time, but I didn't understand that that's how that worked.
Yes.
You know,
So
like,
congrats. First of all, congrats on your first dinner party.
thank you. Real talk. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Well done. And I'm glad Gabby was there with you.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have done it without her. Like, for
Yes.
real.
Yeah.
There was a lot of lost moments.
They can be tough. I'm not great at them. I'm not great at parties. I don't talk much. I want to sit and listen.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with that, but to that end, I need there to be a lot more people.
Yeah, I think that was what I was struggling with, because it was just two couples.
Yeah.
Besides, like, it was us, 6 people total. That's a lot. Like, you got to put, and Gabby don't talk much in general. Like, I'm the talkative one in the couple, and this was not my element.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I felt like I can't talk. So I'm looking at Gabby to talk for the first time in 20 years. Like, yo, listen, you got to carry this home.
I need you to step up this time.
Yeah, real talk.
Right.
It's on you. They were, both couples were very educated, LGBTQ couples. So there was like a lot of like art references I didn't get.
Okay.
So like there was talk about A League of Their Own a lot. I never seen the movie, but I know of the movie.
Oh, you haven't seen A League of Their Own?
Like, in pieces. Gabby loves the film. So like it's been in like the background a lot, but I haven't seen the whole film. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, just from a baseball standpoint.
Yeah.
As much as you love baseball, you should watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Gabby's a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've chuckled when I've seen pieces of it, but I've never sat and watched the whole thing. There was a big discussion on the new one, the new series.
Oh, right.
That was dope. Then they talked about like art in that world and comedians in that world, and I didn't know any of the reference points.
Sure.
This is when the Volvic art thing was kind of pointed out.
Oh, well, now this is all starting to make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah,
so I was like, okay.
And also that it was Peruvian and they wanted to make sure that, yeah, no, actually this is clicking in a different way.
So like I was trying my best.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did fine. But yeah, this is now just clicked on a second level. So yeah, got it. Okay. Now I fully see it. Okay.
But yeah, it was a learning experience. I learned about dinners. I learned a lot about the art world. I learned a lot about the LGBTQ community and their a lot of the art and expression done by some of their a more well-known artists.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Still an ally out here in these streets.
Right.
Very beautiful art. Did not know any of the people. I had a lot of like, I wrote a lot of notes like, okay, look this up later.
Okay.
Like I want to be informed, there's a lot of that. Wrote down the name of the ice cream. Was good, But yeah, it was an away game for me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's great.
But I'm trying.
I love this for you. I love this for you. I'm very proud of you, Gastor.
Thank you. Real talk,
Yeah.
me. Like, it felt like growth. Like, real talk. Like, I got to the car. I took my shirt off before we pulled off. I took like a deep breath. Like, yo, like I need a moment to like collect my thoughts. It was an experience.
Yeah, to strip down to the undershirt. It got so hard for
Real
you.
talk. Like I knew it was different because like we didn't move much, but I was sweating when I got to the car. Like I did work. I like, yo, man, it took all my energy and focus to pull this off.
Right.
But yeah, I made it, you got any other dinner plans, hit me up. I'm ready. I'm learning.
Yeah, that's that is a little bit of an advanced situation that you found yourself in.
Real talk. But it can only go up from here though.
Yeah. Good for you.
Let's get into the news.
Okay.
How do I pronounce his first name? I only know him as Coates.
Ta-Nehisi.
Ta-Nehisi Coates crashes school board meeting over removing his books from class. South Carolina school board meeting in which community members railed against an African-American culture writer's award-winning memoir about racial injustice featured a special guest appearance by Ta-Nehisi Coates, the famed author in question. On Monday evening, the Lexington Richland District 5 school board met to discuss the outrage concerning Coates' 2015 nonfiction bestseller, Between the World and Me, which has repeatedly caused political literary mayhem among reactionary right-wing communities and been placed on book ban lists. In February, after getting approval from higher-ups, an AP language teacher at Chapin High School conducted a lesson involving Between the World and Me. The book, written as an essay to Coates' son to prepare him for the life he will live as a Black man, details personal accounts of Coates' life and his firsthand experiences with racism. However, the lesson was shut down and the book was removed from the course after students filed a complaint claiming the book made them feel guilty for being white. According to footage obtained by the local news station, a slew of people wearing blue rallied in support for the book and for academic freedom during the board hearing. And Coates sat in the back of the room next to the teacher who assigned the book as a sign of solidarity. What matters most to me is that my students have the ability to hear 6 or 7 opinions on one topic and come up with their own thesis, supported with evidence and come up with an independent conclusion, said Superintendent Dr. Akil Rose. Sometimes there's going to be topics you agree with. There's going to be topics you disagree with. Academic freedom says, even if you disagree, there'll be another opinion presented to our children. Our democracy needs that. PEN America, a literary human rights organization, called the book's removal an outrageous act of government censorship and a textbook example of how educational gag orders corrupt free inquiry in the classroom. We cannot become critical thinkers without being uncomfortable in some way, one student declared while directly addressing the Lexington Richland board. If students can't learn these things in a safe space like school, how are we, meant to make good decisions and think critically?
Just imagine that you're going to have a meeting about whether or not you should officially ban a book or if it should even be used as material. In today's climate where people are banning books everywhere, and the author of said book is just chilling in the back. That's what got me about this. Also, I've seen Ta-Nehisi Coates in person on the street.
Oh, rock on.
He's tall.
Yeah.
So there's no way he was inconspicuous. He's not like freakishly tall or freakishly thin or anything like that. He's a tall dude. It's going to be hard to fold that into a seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he's a presence.
He's a presence.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel that. Even if you don't know who he is, if you just kind of come in, you're going to see him sitting in the back and go, who is that guy? Like, I feel like I should know why is he here? Like, you're going to feel something.
Respect. I know I became familiar with him because I know like there was like that clip of him that went viral a couple years ago explaining why it wasn't okay for everyone to use the N-word.
Right.
And then he obviously, I think he got hired to do some writing for Marvel for Black Panther.
Yes.
So yeah, like I know he's been a prolific writer, and that was also one of my favorite takes on why that word isn't universal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love this. I think it's kind of dope that he was like there in the room,
Right.
in support of the teachers and the students. I thought it was a cool choice that he kind of let them kind of handle the combo.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
the other thing that I like, that he didn't go up there and, oh, so y'all trying to silence me? Like, no, let me just sit back here and hear what the concerns are, if there are concerns. Let me hear what's happening in these meetings.
yeah. I thought it
Um,
was dope on both fronts because, like, if something interesting is brought up, he can kind of process it. By the same token, it kind of validates the whole reasoning for having diverse books. Like, he saw students express opinions.
yeah.
You
Like,
know,
it's wild that, I mean, okay, students felt guilty for being white, and their first move is to complain about the book, when it's like, I don't know, maybe we should talk about why you feel that way. But teachers are not equipped to deal with that.
yeah,
We are, as a people, are not equipped to deal with that, or else I don't know if we'd be in quite the mess we're in now. We're in quite a pickle because we don't know how to process shit. So, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. It's just, I just thought it was a good move of him to just kind of be there, not to spook anyone, but also just to see like what are the like what's bringing about some of this, because a little bit in your soul, just, but it's all just based on news stories.
yeah,
So like, let's go to one and see what the deal is, because I remember this complaint about the kids about saying they felt guilty for being white, and that was quite some time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read this book?
Not the whole thing. I got it for my dad,
Okay.
and I got it for him for like Christmas or something. And one of the last times that I hung out with him, he was reading it and would call me in to read certain passages of it that he liked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta beat
Um,
this.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what I read was good. I've read like excerpts and stuff. What I've read was good. So
Yeah, I've caught like clips of his writing, and I've always been impressed. But yeah, I haven't read the whole text either. I want to see like what would make these kids feel guilty, admittedly.
it wouldn't take much.
But
I feel like, to feel uncomfortable
yeah,
about anybody talking about racism in a very frank way, not from the white person view, that alone, I'm here to tell you, that alone, I'm no great orator. I can barely keep my thoughts together with regard to racism. Um, where it's not like I don't trust Whitey. What? You know, like, huh? Is that your only thought? No, I think there are more.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, how do you? That's what people hear. You just say a thing. I don't trust you, and you're like, is that really what she thinks? No, I just don't know how to process it properly.
right.
Right. So I'm not the person. I'm not the person who should speak on that kind of thing. Right. But I've been in places where people want me to speak on it, and I'm like, I don't think you want me to speak on it because I'm going to say something wild, like I don't trust Whitey. And it's like, oh, well, why would you say that? I don't know. There's a part of me that don't. And there's plenty, that's just a part of me that just, do you want to hear that? No one wants to hear that.
Yeah,
So I could see, or you say something wild like that and people go, we gotta complain about this. So it's, I can do that and I'm a nobody. Imagine someone who's nice with words,
right.
turn a phrase, saying something and being way more slick with it, and people still being like, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
And they didn't even get like just some awkward black woman saying, well, I don't trust Whitey. Which now I've given you 3 or 4 times to cut that out and just put that in a master cut, everyone. Where you can say Shalewa Silky Jumbo Sharpe says she doesn't trust Whitey. Go ahead and put it together. I have. What are you going to do? Are you going to cancel me with what? That? Yes. I guess. Sure.
Hey, we both co-host different shows with white women, so I think we're fine.
Right? Yeah. Like, come on.
There's context to this, okay?
There's a lot. But yeah, so it's just like, so my point is like, I'm sure that they didn't get that deep into the book before they felt.
Nah, I dig it. I will say
probably was in the intro of the book.
I feel offended. Like reading his name, like we.
Yeah. Yes,
it's exactly. The table of contents, homie. Like,
right.
Oh man. In other news, worker deletes thousands of files he created after finding out that the company that fired him for being incompetent is still using his work. That's right. Most companies make new employees well aware that anything they create during work hours is no longer their intellectual property, but belongs to the organization they work for. That doesn't take the sting out of relinquishing the rights to everything you spend time on. In a Reddit post recently, Reddit replay said that he just deleted thousands of hours of work from an old job. I was freelancing and was on a loose contract. I was desperate for money, he explained. The workload was insane, according to him, but he managed to keep up with the company's demands for 6 months. On top of the low-paying, crushing work requirements, the freelancer described the office environment as bitter and snide. As the 6-month milestone approached, the contractor compiled the results of the video work he had done, including a graph that measured click-through sales and had come as a result of the content he created. He asked for a pay raise to compensate for the traffic he had delivered. The man even compared his salary to industry standards to demonstrate that he was being underpaid in hopes that managers would understand and correct his pay. He said that although he could make more money elsewhere, he would love to keep working for the company. Although he says he laid out clear data connecting his social media campaigns to increase sales, the worker was told that his content had not produced the intended impact, therefore was no longer needed by the company. Naturally, the man was beside himself with anger. To make matters worse, he struggled for months to find work. 3 years after being tossed aside by a business he had given his all to, the former employee was browsing his personal Google Drive and came across a folder he had created and shared with the company. During his tenure, he found that 18 staff members were still actively using his templates, adjustments, and presets to produce content for the social media accounts. He couldn't believe the company that fired him had the audacity to continue to use the cloud service that he was paying for. So he saved all his files to a local drive on his computer and deleted the online folder, leaving no video assets behind for his former employee, including projects already in progress. And then an inventions agreement releases all of your rights to things you created while employed. This means that you cannot intentionally destroy proprietary files and data when you are leaving. I'm pro all this.
Okay, so it releases your rights to all things you create while employed, so you can't intentionally destroy the files and data when you're leaving. Got it. But this was stuff that they were accessing that's on his personal Google Drive.
Yep.
So if he felt like cleaning off his Google Drive,
that's
on him.
Yeah.
Y'all should have downloaded that shit.
Real talk.
Y'all should have saved that stuff and then worked on it, and he wouldn't have known. Because then you're not accessing a thing that he actually is controlling.
Real talk. Shout outs to Reddit continually showing regular people how you can burn the world down. You know, a little small corner of the world. If you need to take it out, there's someone on Reddit that's either doing it or has instructions on how to. You know, and I appreciate that. I feel like you need access to that. You don't even necessarily need to do it, but knowing that it's possible relieves stress. You know.
Yes. Shout out to you, Reddit.
Finally, McDonald's launches a wedding catering package. That's right. McDonald's recently revealed it is now offering wedding catering packages for couples who want to indulge in golden arches on their special day. The fast food giant posted the news on its Indonesian Instagram page, detailing the 200.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let's just take a moment to marinate in McDonald's Indonesian Instagram page. Okay, go ahead.
The $233 package includes 100 chicken sandwiches and 400 chicken nuggets. That's right. McDonald's let's make the wedding moment more memorable with the Wendy's McD package. Available various other exciting package options with a minimum order of 200 pieces. Right now, the wedding catering package is only available in Indonesia, but the chain said it could make its way to the U.S. depending on its popularity. McDonald's said that other packages are available as long as at least 200 items are in order. Keep in mind the packages cover only the catering. I don't know. I'm a fan of this, Shaq.
Here's where I'm okay with this. You go to a wedding, you go to the reception, maybe they've gotten some sort of fancy food, blah, blah, blah. But, it's hours. Receptions last a long time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of drinking, and there's a lot of dancing and partying, and there's sweating even though you don't want to, and you're still drinking. And you reach that part of the drinking hours into a party where you're like, damn, I could go for some chicken nuggets. Boom, McDonald's nuggets. That's when you bring them in.
Boom. I agree.
That's not for the main food unless that's part of the theme or whatever. Like like the whole thing is McDonald's. But if you're just like, at the end of the night, because there's nothing worse than dealing with people in weird fitting dresses and suits, drunk, trying to look for a snack to sober up. Give them the snack. If it's just chicken sandwiches and chicken nuggets, that's precisely what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Do it then.
I love this. And I agree. I think you nailed the exact timing. Like, because you have like the thing you do before, right? There's like that little like coffee mixture.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The
right?
little like, cocktail service kind of thing before.
There's like the cocktail thing that comes out first. I get that still being fancy. That makes sense to me. People are like, we're still like getting nice with the drinks. Some people taking pictures, grandma's still out. You know what I mean? I get all that. You know what I mean? That's an elegant moment still.
Right.
I also agree with the dinner being elegant. I paid $200, for my plate. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Real talk. We need to eat something real. Like, I get that, but there comes a point where like, it's similar to like, after my third drink, I don't need Hennessy White anymore. Like, you can just give me the well. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Whatever the well drink is, I'm good.
At a certain point, you'll drink whatever's in the mat at the bottom of the bar. You don't.
So yeah, I'm with that. Like at that hour, bring out the Mickey D's. You know what I mean? Bring out the little White Castle Crave case. Those are hits at this time, yo. Finger foods.
I feel like I was at a wedding recently, and that's what happened. There was a sit down meal, and then late in the night, some chicken fingers just appeared out of nowhere, and I was like, "This is, yeah." And I don't even drink, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need these chicken fingers." Because you don't know, because you're someplace you're not near restaurants. They don't where you're not at, receptions are never at a place where you can just leave the reception hall and there's like a 7-Eleven or whatever right there. And that's never the case. It's always a drive. And it's like, no, if I drive, I'm only going straight to my hotel room. I don't have time to figure out what is still open. Bring me the nuggets. Bring me the chicken. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yo, if you would like to fund Shalewa and Gastor's post-dinner reception at your wedding service, where we only bring fast foods, 3 hours into
a choice between McDonald's chicken nuggets or Waffle House waffles.
That's it.
Someone just rolls up with batter and a waffle iron? Woo. Come on.
MVP of that day.
Absolutely.
All you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you are Apple Spotify. Listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. Admittedly, you've probably burnt yourself making your own waffles. You don't get the hype. I get it. It's not for you. Okay. 5 stars. You are excited to make waffles when you're drunk. You make them better. Maybe you're creative. You put the waffle batter with some of the syrup mixed in already when you put it into the waffle iron. It's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? It's just a Gastor secret if you haven't tried it.
We'll have a professional on hand to help you out just in case.
Yeah, real talk. You can't.
That's
leave
the least
me alone.
we could do for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like cigars. Like you got the roller, we got the waffler. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Somebody there.
Yes.
Maybe they do that after they've rolled the cigars. They like double time. They go move over.
Right. At any rate, it will be white glove waffle service. White glove Waffle House service. I can't guarantee those white gloves will be clean, but they'll be there for the Waffle House service.
They'll be on their left hand only, okay?
Only one hand.
Only one hand, baby.
They're using to text their friends.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Lori McDaniel and FCBLJ. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am excited to have waffles. I got a craving now.
Yeah, me too.
With admittedly gonna give me directions to Waffle House, Shalewa Sharpe. See you there, homie. This has been Bad for My Insulin episode of The War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.